Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea transfer news. Lots popping off post our victory against who do we play? How do I always forget this? Who did we? Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace. It's only happened in the last 24 hours and I've already forgotten. But look, ladies and gentlemen, let's get in on the act. Lots to talk about. Aaron Anselmino's picture, as you can see on the screen. And we've got some other bits and bobs. It's coming from David Ornstein, so we've got to take it very, very seriously. Orny, who makes us all nice and horny, is trying to attempt us to make us horny here. Let's get in on the act and see what is actually going on. And then we will provide, like always, my opinion. And like always, I want to see what you guys have to say in the comment section as well. So we've got news in relation to defenders situation, and also midfield. And we've got some commentary from Enzo Fernandez as well, which is going to be fantastic to go through. Now, coming from David Ornstein, this was, I believe, post our victory against Crystal Palace. Exclusive. Chelsea trigger clause to recall Aaron Anselmino from Borussia Dortmund loan, evaluating CB market plus 120-year-old back from Borussia Dortmund to consider next steps. Same option on Sarr, but Acheampong likely to stay. Sell viewed as impossible. I love it. I love it. First of all, I want to talk about this before we get into the Anselmino conversation. First and foremost, Acheampong likely to stay, sale viewed as impossible. I love it. Absolutely love it. I really like this player, Acheampong. I think there's a lot of good. There's plenty of good in Acheampong that we can perhaps down the track hone in on, develop into a solid footballer, solid defender. Look, for me, I don't think he's a fullback. I think he's got attributes of being a fullback, but he does lack the crossing side of things. I think he can be a top defender, a central defender, whether it's RCB, whether it's CCB, one of those ones. I don't think he can be a LCB because he's not left-footed, but whether it's RCB, whether it's CCB, he's young. A lot of people are like me, he needs to improve on his ball-playing ability. Of course he does. Of course he does. He's young. He's what, 20 years old? Maybe even less, right? One thing about him is he drives with the ball very well. He's, doesn't shy away from a tackle. He's very good. He's combative. He's not a Mickey Mouse player. He's not someone who gets pushed around. Plays with a lot of hunger, plays with a lot of desire, plays with a lot of intensity. His recovery pace is excellent. And you can tell he cares. He cares and he fights for Chelsea Football Club. I like the look of him. Can he improve on his passing? Of course he can. That's the one thing that I'm a bit worried about at times, because he does, mistimes the pass, which then allows the opposition to pounce on us. But that's something I think over time, he's a young kid, he's learning. Over time, I think he can eradicate and he can get a lot better at. The more he is part of the first team squad, the more he's part of this playing unit, along with Liam Rossignol, I think that side of the game will improve. So I'm very, very happy. Acheampong likely to stay. Sell viewed as impossible. Love it. Because there's no need to let go of Acheampong. Let go of all of these other numpties that we have. Tosin, Desassi. I'm not even sure why Desassi is in the first team again, training and whatnot. There's no need. Buddy Ishiu. Yeah, I think we've seen enough. I know he's had his injuries as well, but the constant mistakes, there might be a odd game where he does well, but then there's always games where he's messing up big time. Get rid of these players. Maybe down the track, who knows, maybe even Chalobah leaves because it's pure profit. I wouldn't mind Chalobah staying as a squad player. I think Chalobah is quality in terms of being a squad player. Right now, he's deemed as one of our better defenders because that's the standard. Chalobah is the standard. Standard needs to be a lot higher. So I don't mind cleaning up the defense and keeping someone like Acheampong, but we do need to give him minutes. We can't just keep him with us and not give him minutes. In order for a young kid to develop, we have to find ways to give him minutes. So the minutes that sometimes you see Tosin get or Buddy Ishiu get, I'd like to see Acheampong get that. And I know Buddy Ishiu plays because he's on the left side. He plays where Levi Colwell plays, as something Acheampong can't give. I understand that. But when you're giving minutes to Tosin, please think about giving minutes instead to Acheampong. So that's number one. Number two, which is the most important part. Chelsea trigger clause to recall Aaron Anselmino from Borussia Dortmund. First of all, I really did like this loan move to Borussia Dortmund. When this took place last summer, I was like, yeah, that's great. This young player, this kid from Boca Juniors, who we've seen clips that he is talented as well. He's very good on the ball, drives well with it, just like Acheampong, drives well with the ball, but he's equally very, very good on the ball in terms of his distribution, in terms of his passing. And from a defensive standpoint as well, he's a very, very solid defender. I think he likes to operate, whether it's RCB position or LCB position. I don't think I've ever seen him play as a CCB, but either side of the defense, he likes to operate. I've seen him play for Dortmund in both sides, RCB and LCB. I think predominantly he does prefer the RCB position. Let me know in the comment section, right? I am a little bit surprised that we are recalling him back. I thought he was going to continue on with Dortmund and just keep progressing, because Dortmund manager, I think it's Niko Kovac, he really likes him. But I guess maybe he has gone through a bit of an injury spell there as well. He's missed out on a lot of games, Anselmino, through injury. So that's one thing that we need to be, a bit cautious about. But are we recalling him back? Perhaps thinking, don't get too attached to Dortmund, Anselmino. Don't get so attached where, at the end of the season, Dortmund starts negotiating and you want to kick up a fuss and you want to stay. Maybe we want, before that happens, that attachment happens, we want to bring him back, but also there might be a need for him this season to help us out in defense, because quite a lot of players are on a regular basis injured. We've got a lot of matches. We want to make sure that we have fresh, players available all the time. Tosin is injured. Badishil is sometimes in, sometimes not. We don't know his long-term, injury status. Wesley Fofana is someone still incapable of playing more than one match a week. So someone like Anselmino, for the time being, maybe we want him as more depth. But is it wise to disrupt his loan, where it seems like every time he's fit, he is playing a lot of minutes for Dortmund? I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. But the bottom line is, look, I rather an internal solution, honestly. This is why I'm not too interested to go and get, Jeremy Jacquet and all of these. Like, you've got players already. You've got Mamadou Sarr. There's talks about Mamadou Sarr as well. We might be doing something. Maybe we might recall him back. As I said, I've got no problems. If you want to sell Desarci, sell Tosin, sell Badishil, sell all of these players and just bring back our players that we own. Internal solutions is something that honestly, I promote, I like. Because what's the point of just stockpiling all of these players? But one thing I do want to say, and I've said this in recent videos, all of this needs to progress towards us trying to win the Premier League next season. This is the 4th season under this ownership. We need to get serious. A lot of money has been spent. It's not like, we don't spend money. A lot of money has been spent. The aim should be to win the Premier League. Does someone like Anselmino come in and helps us win the Premier League? Probably not. Not yet. But he's a quality defender. He's a quality, from what I've seen so far of Dortmund, from the bits and pieces that I've watched, whenever I've tuned in, I've actually taken the time to tune in and see how he operates. He's a good player. So let's see, Liam Rossignol. I think our owners are trusting Liam Rossignol to develop these young players a lot more. Give them a lot more chance, give them a lot more opportunities, whether they end up staying at Chelsea Football Club, whether we end up selling them, whatever the case is, give them chances so we can increase their value. That's definitely an objective. There's no two ways about that. But as I said, my first and foremost thought is, does this help us win the Premier League next season? Probably not. And this is why I'm still going to stick to my stance that I want to see an experienced defender. An experienced defender alongside our young defenders that we have. I want to see someone, Dortmund, for example, Schlotterbeck. I want to see a Bastoni. I want to see a Rudiger maybe. I want to see Antonio Silva of Benfica. And so many more. There's plenty of names out there. want to see experience next to some of our kids. Now, I know you're going to throw, well, Tossen's experience. Nah, that's not the type of experience I'm looking for. Top flight players that have played at the highest level for a prolonged period of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in relation to Anselmino. Me personally, I don't mind, as I said, internal solution. But as I said, long-term goal is to win the Premier League. Does Anselmino help us win the Premier League? Probably not yet. I don't mind this player. I'm keen to see what he can do at Chelsea Football Club. I am keen to see what he can do. After Aaron Anselmino recall, it's not over for Chelsea. Chelsea are in a battle to pre-agree a summer deal for Jacquet, and watch out because more business could happen next week. Also, we'll see. Looks like a midfielder could be on the cards. Mamadou Sarr, there's talks about Mamadou Sarr. Probably we might recall him back from Strasbourg. Now, that's someone I might be open to a lot more because Mamadou Sarr has actually done his time at Strasbourg. He's had a full season last season. He's doing his bits this season as well. He's had a very, very strong African Cup of Nations. This isn't the same, scenario as Jeremy Jacquet, who's just now broken through, hasn't even played an entire season. And Mamadou Sarr is someone who can play through the centre CCB position and has someone who has played under Liam Rossignol as well. So I don't mind bringing in Mamadou Sarr. As I said, clean up the act, clean up all the defenders that we don't need. And you want to bring in all of these, perhaps, future potentials? No problems. Internal solution? No problems. But it looks like Chelsea Football Club, we're still interested in Jacquet, and we might be looking to do this for the summer. Get something done now and have him, arrive at the football club in the summer. Look, if he's that talented, sure. As I said, get rid of all the other nonsense centre backs that we have, and you want to bring in all of these kids. I just wish you just had one solid, experienced member to help all of these kids out. That's the only thing. But it looks like we're not going to let go of Jeremy Jacquet. New Chelsea, Liverpool, and Bayern Munich are now in battle to pre-agree a deal for Jeremy Jacquet to join in the summer. A lot of the teams seem to be, gaga over him. They're keen on him big time. Now, some parts of the fan base have seen Ren play this weekend, last weekend, the weekend that just went. And they weren't very impressed with Jeremy Jacquet. And I don't want to, put everything on based on one match, but there's a lot of top clubs that are interested in Jacquet. You can only hope that he is the real deal. And we shouldn't just be looking at one particular game to judge him. But then again, how much of a sample size do we really have of Jacquet? He hasn't even played an entire season in Liga. But look, if you want to do this Chelsea Football Club, just make sure the aim is to win the Premier League next season. We can't be just fighting for top 4, top 5 for Champions League only. That can't be our sole reason of existence. And for all the people, please be patient, This is the 4th season. 5th season in the Premier League, I'd like to see Chelsea Football Club compete. Not just compete, try and win the Premier League and the Champions League. So yeah, that's the latest in Jeremy Jacquet. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about Anselmino, Mamadou Sarr, Jeremy Jacquet. Do you want to do a full cleanup? Get rid of all of these defenders that are mediocre, mid-level at Chelsea Football Club and bring in some of these talented young centre-backs? Do you want to have an experienced member in between all of these defenders? Let me know in the comment section. Now, this commentary from Enzo Fernandez was beautiful, and I needed to share this with you guys. What role do you assume as a leader when there's change like this in manager? This was a question asked to Enzo Fernandez. Lovely question, by the way. Yeah, what do you do? There's all this chopping and change. Enzo Fernandez has seen Graham Potter, Frank Lampard, Pochettino, Maresca, Liam Rossignol. My man's seen 5 managers in his Chelsea career already. What do you do? And also, he's seen so many players leave and come. Plenty of players. What do you do, Enzo Fernandez, when things are like this, so chaotic at Chelsea Football Club? Enzo, let's see. First and foremost, it's keeping the group united in these difficult moments when a coach leaves or when a teammate leaves. Keeping the dressing room together, united, and looking forward. In the end, we want to win for this club, and well, this is the way I try to show how important I feel within the group. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. In the last few weeks, especially just around when Enzo Maresca was getting sacked, a couple of weeks prior, during that phase, and now, I'm starting to see Enzo Fernandez now slowly be more consistent. Earlier on in the season, the consistency wasn't there. Some matches good, some matches bad. But now I'm starting to see that consistency back again. He's working hard off the ball. He's working hard on the ball. He's scoring goals. He's assisting goals. He's a leader. There are times where I feel like Enzo Fernandez just keep it down a bit. Sometimes he's arguing with the referee a bit too much. But that just shows he's passionate, his desire, his hunger for Chelsea Football Club. I love it, but at the same time, cool it as well sometimes. Know when to, utilize that. But he's a proper leader. There's no doubts about that. You see the way Reece James reaches out to Enzo Fernandez on a regular basis on the field. He's well respected. He's 100% a leader of the group and a bit of a role model. And he himself is a young player. I love this commentary from him. All of these changes, all of these personnel that keep coming in, going out, he tries to maintain a level head and keep that positivity. And as a fan, this is all we can ask for. With all the nonsense that's happening, whether it's the ownership nonsense, whether it's managers leaving, whether it's new players coming, old players leaving, all we can ask for from these players is just fight for us, fight for the fans. Go out there, play your level best, leave everything out there, and that's all we can ask for. After that, win, lose, or draw, obviously, we're going to be emotional about all of those situations, but as long as we can't sit there and say, oh, you didn't try. Just need these players, go out there, put your best foot forward all the time, consistently. And I'm telling you, if you do that, we're going to see more positive results. So yeah, I love the fact that Enzo Fernandez has said this, that, tries his level best to keep the group united. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about. That's the latest that's happening. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Check out the second channel as well. Later on, there will be a video that will be dropped in relation to Arsenal and Man United, the recent match that took place. Epic match. So do watch that video down the track whenever that's dropping later on today. Until next time, hype the video as well. Take care. See ya.